You are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird brain. It's a plane. It's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Hey everyone, it's Walter from iWalter. I'm back again. I wasn't sure if I was going to do a show today or not. It is Saturday, January 30th at 2:20 p.m. Yeah, I did a show right before I had this. I did a podcast right before I went to my dentist appointment yesterday. It actually turned out pretty promising. One thing I tell you I have to complain about, I'm not going to say where it was, but someplace I went, the receptionist is, you know, she's not a bad-looking woman. She's an older lady, but she seems to have like a bit of an attitude problem. One of the places I had to stop by yesterday, and that is like one of my biggest pet peeves with people is, you know, just acting like, you know, I mean, the woman's got to be pushing like her 60s, and she acts like she's a teenager, and I just have an issue with people like that. You know, there's a time and place for acting like, you know, very childish and everything like that, but being a professional at a place, I don't care where it is, and acting like, you know, hey, this guy is creepy and stuff, is very immature, to say the least. It's extremely immature. And that is one thing I just have a zero tolerance. Excuse me, let me re-say that. You know what? I screw up so many words. Like yesterday, I was talking to some guy. One of the many places I had stopped yesterday was this place called, besides my dentist appointment, is this place called, now I'm drawing a blank. Damn it. I'm actually really drawing a blank. The GameStop. Yeah. And I'm like in there, and I was talking to this guy. I had my iPad with me, and I had this custom made bookcase for my iPad. I have the mini, and it had to be custom made because they don't have much to choose from for the iPad minis. And the bookcase basically had a design from, he said, "Oh, this looks really familiar, this design on your cover." And I was like, "Yeah, it's from Charmed, a TV show." And he's like, "Yeah, that's really cool and everything." And I said, "Oh, yeah, I bought it off this website called Esty." And it's like, yeah, I really screwed up that. So I'm looking already up the name, and it was like, he says, "I think it's, he like, I guess I'm not really good phonetically on trying to pronounce words, you know, try to sound them out, because they turn up completely incorrect." And he actually said it, and it was like, "Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. I've been screwing up this name. I called Esty, but it's actually, I think it's Etsy, I think." So, but I mean, that's just one thing, and that's another thing I had to mention was like, wow, I was cringing listening to my show yesterday because, hey, I'll admit when I make a really bad show and I mispronounce a lot of words, or just, you know, seem like I'm going off on a tangent, and it even makes my skin cringe. And that was like yesterday. I listened to it because I told this woman who was cleaning my cleaning my teeth yesterday. I said, "Yeah, I was telling her I have my own podcast, and, you know, I put all this money into this intro and stuff for my show, and, you know, pay a lot of money for it." And it was like, I don't know if she checked it out, but she was on Facebook, so she added me to Facebook at least, because, you know, my shows come up on Facebook right away once I'm done, and I put them up. And it was like, yeah, I got to listen to this. You know, I was really happy. I thought I did a good show, and I'm like, listening to myself. It's like, this show is horrible. I mean, I sound like some whack job who escaped from high security mental state institution and I'm going off about stuff. And it was like, and then it was just the mispronouncing of words that even made me like, okay, I got to leave. This guy is like, kind of like, he's scaring me. I was like, wait a minute, that's me. So anyway, that was like my pet peeve too yesterday, or not my pet peeve. That was just, it made me like really depressed. But with the woman, this woman at one place I went yesterday, some type of receptionist, with her attitude, just really, it made me feel uncomfortable, and it made me actually more angry. It's like, wow, you know what? That's kind of give me the feeling like I got to check for another place. If people, like older people, act like they're still like in high school and have this attitude problem, I just really, I don't have enough time left in my lifetime to deal with people like that. I mean, it just really bothers me. And it upsets me. That's the bottom line. It just makes me very upset that people are so ignorant. Anyway, there's so much I wanted to talk about. It was like I got to the point, I was like, you know what, I can't post everything up, ahead of time and glance at it. And plus, when I read these stories, come on, let's be honest, I do a horrible job. I'll admit to that. So, that's the other problem I've been having. Hey, one thing on the nonsense notes that I always have, I've been trying to get through that show Glee. Like the first 2 seasons, I got through them in 4 days each. So that was like less than 8 days actually. I got through 2 seasons of Glee, and third season, it's, I guess because I just marathon so much, I got to the point that I just, I'm like losing my grip on watching so many shows, and I'm actually on a normal sleep schedule now too, which is actually really good. For a while there, I was, because I've been out of work, still getting paid, but I'm, been out of work. It's like I'm at work without even showing up. I mean, it's great, not really, but I got to the point I guess it's just I got so depressed that I was actually, staying up till 5, 6, 7 in the morning and going to bed at that time. And then get up the next day at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was like, this is ridiculous. I got to stop this. So I actually did the last couple of days last week. Been forcing myself on a normal sleep schedule. Been getting up at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, which is much, much better than what I was doing. Anyway, so that was another thing I've been trying to do, and I think I've been pretty good with that. But yeah, I don't even know where I was going to go with that. I lost my train of thought. So, but I've been doing that. I thought I could do a show earlier, but I didn't. That's another thing. I'm so like self-conscious. It's like, okay, why even this one place where the receptionist was treat me like I was like some type of convicted child rapist. It made me like I am so self-conscious about this stuff that last night I did sleep. But it's one of those things, yeah, I slept, but I was just thinking about it all night anyway. Not when I was sleeping. That, you know what? One of the problems I've been having as I've gotten older, and a friend, we were talking about this through voicemails, unfortunately, not like actually talking. And that's actually my fault, too, because I wasn't picking up. I was prepping for this show today. That, what was I going to say? My hair has gotten thinner. And I remember years ago, people would, make jokes about, oh, you got a bald spot in the back of your head. And I would look and look and look. And I was like, there's no bald spot. They were just kind of fucking with me. And it really upset me with that, too. So, I'm very conscious about my appearance and stuff. I've gone to, like, plastic surgeons for information. Okay, how much is it going to cost to get this done? And blah, blah, blah. But it is very expensive, any type of thing. The most I've gotten done on cosmetic surgery is getting my teeth bleached, and I've kept up with that. I've kept up with that pretty well. So, but yeah, I was actually looking into liposuction and stuff, and that's expensive too. That's like almost probably $5,000. That's why I don't understand how. I was mentioned yesterday with the one story I was going off on one of my crazy contangents about this woman who had so much plastic surgery she doesn't even look like a human being anymore. The one with the corset and stuff, and the boob job and the butt job. She must have spent at least close to $1 million just on all the surgery she got done. And it's like, where do these people get this kind of money? I mean, I I just don't even understand. Speaking about that with the money, I have to look for this really quick because it's not even funny. It's actually really serious. So I'm going to go off on my little side note things, kind of, so to speak. Because there was like two different ones, but the one friend, his brother always finds these local newspaper clippings from around where he lives, and it's one like basically mentioned like people who live around his area in these Section 8 housing developments and these homes were able to afford to get somebody to shovel their driveway for them. And it said, this was like written in the newspaper, I don't know which one. Then it says in another part, while this was going on, like, how did they get the money to do this? There was like retired homeowners around the same area who are like struggling because they can't afford on the amount of money they're making. Retired homeowners can't afford to have their driveway shoveled, so they're like killing themselves. Now, I remember I was in a dentist yesterday. The girl I was talking to, the woman who was doing my thing, she actually said there was her and my main dentist. She's a really nice lady too. My main dentist. They're both extremely nice people. The women that work in this dental place, it's up in Limerick. If you're familiar with the area, Limerick Dental, I guess it's called. They were saying that I didn't hear that. I heard about one case, but apparently, sorry, I'm laughing at something that's really funny. Apparently, there was numerous cases, even young people that died trying to shovel snow or got buried in the snow, like they, trying to get out of their house and got buried in the snow, like different stories. So I didn't find any of those stories. I didn't even bother to look for them. But, hey, I'm going by word of mouth because I can trust these people, But it's just crazy that, But the bottom line is, like, the people that had to, like, basically shovel their stuff are, the people that actually have to work, not the people who don't work. The people who don't work, they're getting everything for free anyway, so they don't even really care. And that's really scary. I know I went off like way in left field now, and from where I was at. But anyway, what was I going to say? There was another story he had the other day, and I totally forgot about it. So now I'm on this little niche, I'm going to mention it really quick. There's another one that he cut out of this newspaper. It's like a section it's like in the around this area of Lansdale, Limerick, Norristown, Eagleville area. I don't know what paper it is, though. There's another thing that was written in the newspaper the other day, and it said, all healthy available men on public assistance of any kind should be out helping clean up the streets of snow, get busy. Because people are, like, really pissed about all this shit. I'm trying not to, but I keep on finding more and more stuff. It just seems like when I start a show, I find more than when I am not, when I'm trying to, like, prep before the show starts, so I'm not stuck in this predicament where I'm, like, trying to make sense out of reading these articles, which I never bothered to read to begin with. Sorry. Saw a picture of Pat Benatar. She's at her age now, and she actually looks really hot. She's a really nice lady. Both her and her husband are like great people, because I met them like a couple years ago. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like really all over the place at this point. I'm not, hey, it's a podcast, and with me, I actually live up to the word of being a podcast, because I'm like literally, I'm non-linear on anything I talk about. But anyway, I felt so self-conscious yesterday. That's what I was trying to get at. That I, finally got to the point. It was like, I've been talking about this for a while. I looked in the past on, one was plastic surgery, because my mother always told me, it's like, are you putting on weight? My dad did that the other day. So it's like, are you getting fat? And it's like, well, I eat like literally 1, possibly 2 meals a day. That's it. Because I'm like so afraid. And I have like really bad, not as bad as I used to, but I do suffer from obsessive compulsive disorder. And it doesn't help when somebody says, anything pertaining to my appearance, because I take that to heart in a big way, and to the part that I get paranoid. So yeah, that's the thing though. That's why, hey, it really just it digs into me when like, oh, are you getting fat? I'll take that literally. Or are you going bald? And I'm noticing it lately just by, because I'm very self-conscious about my appearance. So again, I cut back when I ate because I don't want to pay all that money that I can't really afford to pay back to get plastic surgery. I'm not one of these people who basically doesn't think about the consequences of, hey, you have to pay this back. Don't you know that? No, I know that. Trust me. I mean, I like spending money on goofy crap, but there's certain things you have to. When it comes to very expensive things, then you kind of like got to say, no, I can't go that get myself that much of debt. Like, a couple $100 here, $10 or $20 there. That's different, but a couple $1,000 it could lead into hundreds of thousands of dollars. No, I can't do that. I literally can't. So anyway, I was so self-conscious. I spent at least 3 hours today literally going to every clinic I could find. There was one that was over here in King of Prussia. For I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but because my hair has been getting thinner and thinner. It happens when you get older, but now it looks like, to me, I can't find it when I even hold the mirror up on the back of my head. And it's like on the side of my head, there's this like big crevice that there's no hair. It's like a big bald spot on the circular bald spot, not on the back of my head, but on the side, which is like, I don't want to use that word. I was going to use the word retarded, so please don't take it. It's nothing against people that are mentally retarded or anything. Even though I would fit in that category after I had taken that placement test years ago to find out about what kind of learning disability I had. I basically was a step above retardation. But that's a different story, though. That's a different story. But it's true. So I'm like really self-conscious anymore. And just what happened yesterday with this receptionist just really just nailed it even further, deeper into my coffin. And I'm like analyzing it last night when I'm thinking about it. I was like, well, you know what? When you die and you're basically either get cremated or your body just decomposes, your hair is not going to be there anymore. Not that it's important, but the only thing that's going to be left is probably your bones and your nails. They say your hair grows even after you're dead, but I won't have to worry about that because the hair is getting thinner and thinner. I don't know why. Because they say you take after your mother's side. Well, that's not true because me and my one older brother, I have two older brothers. I always say, oh, I have two brothers, but I do. My one brother, I noticed when he had taken a picture, he had a really like super, like he had ultra, how do I put it? Like a lot of hair on his head. And he looked like he was actually going bald on top. And it was like, okay. And he was taken after my mother's side, which are Soletas. My dad's side is Irani's. But yeah, the Soletas had always, all of them had thick hair. There was not one on my mom's side that were bald at all. Even, like going down the family tree. But on my dad's side, yeah, the baldness thing or the thinning of the hair, it was always a given for the males, because it can happen to females too. So anyway, yeah, it was just like, okay, wow. Me and my one brother, and now my oldest brother, he's got like a really thick head of hair, and he looks just like he takes after the Inarani side, not the Soleta side of the family thing, but it's all gray, which he could just dye it if he really wanted to. But he's got like not one hair missing out of his head. It's like a thick carpet on his head. So anyway, I went around. I went to different places. The one I made a consultation for. It's free. It was this place called Style Rama, and I said, okay, is this permanent or whatever? Because I asked after. She said, oh yeah, we're due some treatment and stuff. And she said you got to come back on a yearly basis. And it can cost, I said, how much is it going to cost? She said, oh, anywhere between $1,600 to a couple $1,000. I was like, yeah, I want something permanent. Like, I'm not coming back again. And I was like, oh, no, you would have come back. This is not a permanent solution. I was like, okay, I'll keep the consultation for now. It's just going to be a waste of time for me to go. And I'll find some excuse between now and the next couple of days to say, listen, I can't make it in. Sorry about that, because it's free, so I don't care. But yeah, and even at one friend I was talking, he left a voicemail. He says, yeah, this is really expensive. Years ago, he tried to go, one of the things they were trying to push now, if you don't want to go for surgery where it looks like you basically got plugs put in your head, like you can see the separate hair follicles put in the spots where your hair is no longer growing, he basically, there's a thing like I was telling him. But anyway, years ago, that's the new thing is laser surgery. He went for laser surgery years ago to remove hair like from certain sections of his body, not his head or anything. Just annoying spots on your body that the hair just looks awkward. And it's like, yeah, dude, I don't blame you. But he spent a lot of money, and it wasn't a permanent solution. It was actually not a solution at all because his hair grew back again. And even thicker, because what happened was where every place the hair was removed by laser surgery, there was new hair being regrown, but twice as much. So it defeated the purpose. Now, they now do laser surgery to actually stimulate the hairline, the scalp, and supposedly regrows hair. It's like, okay, is that going to be one of these things that they say that it does that, and you're wasting like a couple $1,000, and you find out $20,000 later or whatever that, oh my God, I'm basically where I was, but worse now. I don't want that to happen. So he kind of said that, not with the laser surgery, but he heard that some of these, the only way you correct hair loss is physically by replacing the hair that was lost, putting new hair there. And it's like, yeah, that's what I was kind of looking for, but I couldn't find and get an answer back. I actually went to this one place that was right over here in King of Prussia, and it was like, okay, I went there going in circles, and they said, yeah, you're in the right location. And in fact, I no longer use no longer use the Apple app for maps because it sucks. So I've been using Google, and Google was acting up today because Google sent me down the road and then sent me back to the same exact spot that I left. It was like, oh my God. Now Google's jumping on the bandwagon and being like a shitty app for your iPhone, because I have the iPhone. That's the only reason I'm saying it, because Google's actually, they got their own phone. They don't need Apple, yo. So yeah, it was a complete waste of time almost today. I just basically drove around in circles, and I went to this other place, and yeah, I'm sorry, I just got distracted. Jay Starlin, I added her picture. She's really hot in this picture she just got done. And she said basically, thanks for sharing, Walter, and enjoy your weekend, XOXO. I saw her a couple years ago. I don't even think she knows who I am anymore, but she's a really very hot-looking lady, and she's very nice. She's very pleasant to talk to. She was over here and where I live, in my neck of the woods, actually. A couple years ago at Philadelphia Comic or Expo Center, which is actually in Oaks, not even closely remote near Philadelphia, but they call it that, so whatever. Anyway, yeah, I just went off even further. But yeah, I wasted, literally, I was up, I got out of the house around 9 a.m. and was driving around endlessly for 3 hours straight and got absolutely nothing done, and I was back where I left the house today, like literally with the intentions of getting something done, and ended up where I started, like with just intentions and nothing getting done. So that was, and it all started because this whole thing with this one receptionist, she just gave me like the creepy looks, like, oh, this guy's a creep. And it's like, you know what, you need to grow up too, but that's besides the point, isn't it? So I just had to get that out. So that was the highlight of yesterday and today. And have only watched a handful of Glee episodes instead of a lot more that I was doing. I know, hey, that's not going to get me back into work or anything else. That's another thing that's funny. Work wise, it's kind of funny because what was I going to say? Yeah, they told me at first. My one friend, he hit it right on the nose. My one friend Matt, I was telling him, I said, yeah, the work wants me to take this test. They said they're going to pay for the thing. They want me to get this psych evaluation test done, and then, we're still paying you to stay out, but we eventually, because they can't fire me. They have no reason to fire me. That would be, they can justify, okay, this is the reason we're going to get rid of Walter, and we'll be done with him. No, they're stuck paying me. Like, they're stuck between literally a rock and a hard place. They can't get rid of me, but they would really love to. So I'm still working there with a paycheck without going to work and getting full benefits. The only thing I'm not getting is overtime. Most places you work, you don't get overtime anyway, so there's no big deal. So I'm making like $33 an hour just to sit on my ass and do whatever I fucking want to do. It's not great, trust me. So this is why I'm like doing this other stuff. Try to keep myself busy. So you know what? I don't even know where I was going to go with that. I'm just trying to give me 1 second. Let me make sure my thing's running too. My program that I record the show on. So give me a sec. I'll be back. Okay. I wasn't going to do that, but I'm just afraid, like, okay, if I let the computer, like, do its own thing for too long, it's going to, like, basically just go into hibernation mode, and then I'll be really screwed. So that's why I was kind of just ignoring it. It's like, okay, let it go into, turn off the screen saver in the screen. I don't really give a crap. But yeah, if you let it go too long, your computer, it eventually will just basically go and hibernate and basically close down the programs that you're trying to use. Yeah, so today, the only thing I actually got accomplished, besides getting up, cleaning a little bit in the house, getting out, dirtying up my car again with more salt, was I went to Five Guys. That was the highlight of my day. That was the only thing I got done today, besides trying to do a show right now. Yeah, that's the other thing. My whole goal is, eventually, is I'm going to, obviously I set it up. Next Saturday, I'm going down to Red Bank. I'm going to be there until Tuesday. I'm going to see what I can do on that. But, I do it. I know it seems like a waste of time. My one friend will say that. Why are you wasting your time on, doing this stuff? One, it gets my mind off of things. Two, if I could do anything in entertainment, even if it's doing a radio show in Philadelphia, like get a job down in Philly and doing a radio show, which would not be my first choice, I would do it at this point. Just something that I actually really enjoy. It won't make the money I'm making now, but at least I'll be doing something I actually really enjoy doing. So, because, not that I would be the next Howard Stern. I know I will never be that, or Rush Limbaugh, but because those guys are like the highest paid disc jockeys that I know of. I know one's politics, the other one's is entertainment, but they made a living out of that, and they made a really good living out of it. I wouldn't mind at this point doing something like that. Just something I prefer to do more, but at least to be in the right direction of where I wanted to go, and it wouldn't be pushing a broom or doing some other idiotic job. Not saying they are. They are definitely important jobs. Don't get me wrong. Anyway, I got a couple stories. I just tried to dig them up really quickly so I have something to talk about. And I promise you, I'll try not to read too in depth, because you know where that goes. It just turns into a disaster. It's not even entertaining. It's actually really scary. So anyway, this one story I found this on Godfruits TV, .tv. That's actually, instead of .com or .net, there's a .tv. There's other ones too. Because all the, there's not much, there's no more domains for .com or something like that. I forget. So they had this picture, and it was like, okay, this got to be like it can't be real, but it really is. And I felt really bad. It's this poor dog that had literally, not just a little bit, the whole, what do you call it? The whole bone structure of the dog's face was eaten off by maggots. And it has a video of it. It's not made up. It's for real. So they were able to clean the maggots out. Like, it's the whole, front of the dog's head is got a big crevice in there. Like, it's all eaten away. And it was like, okay, I'm not a big dog lover, but this was like heartbreaking. And again, it's actually titled Maggots Ate Dog's Face. So he had to hide in a hole to die. And what happens next? So there's a video. It's very heart-wrenching. They cleaned all the maggots out of this poor dog's head and bandaged it up. And the dog literally, it did heal that section. But there was a very deep hole. So it was found in Kulu, inside a hole inside this area of a construction site. This poor dog, and it says the face was eaten through by maggots and led to exposure of his skull. And I mean, literally, you can see that. You can see that in the pictures. So these animal people that take care of, I guess, abandoned animals, because this is Animal Aid Unlimited. It was in India. Basically saw the dog and took care of it and brought it back to health. And it looks much better. You could never tell that it was missing half its face. But it like somehow they ate through the skull too, almost. I don't know if they could eat through bone, maggots, but it's pretty sad. It's really heart-wrenching. Normally I don't say that kind of stuff, but especially because I'm not a dog lover. I'm a cat lover. I can't help it. I had a couple stories because the dentist told me, the woman who was one dentist, was dental assistant. I don't know. She was mentioned. I said, yeah, I really like Glee. We're BSing about different TV shows and movies and stuff, and we got into talk. And I said, well, I really like Glee right now. That's like one of my favorite shows, and I've been marathoning it. I know it's been off for like about a year now, not even a year, a couple months, and yeah, she was talking about the cat. There's this one cat. I can't remember its name. Lord, I can't remember. It's somewhere in I hope it's somewhere in my mix. Yeah, I pulled a couple stories up. There was actually they had two different cats that are extremely huge. It was on Glee, and yeah, I must have closed those out. So, but I'll mention that in a minute. And I'll just, say, oh, okay, this is what I was talking about. I can try to look now, but I thought I had them open, and now I actually don't. I'm doing a quick look. Because I added so many freaking stories, it's not even funny. And there was actually one story that's not funny, but which I'll mention in a minute, I hope. Actually, a couple stories that weren't too funny. Wow, okay. There was, which I didn't know there was a difference, but apparently there was a cat they hired out, so to speak. They did some videos on YouTube when they were big. Lady Tubberton, and then there was the one I know about, because that was the one that the girl at the dentist's office mentioned to me, was Lord Tubberton. The cat is like so fucking fat, it's not even funny, but it's cute. And the one character, oh God, Brittany, she the character is supposed to be so stupid. She thinks that if she keeps on feeding the cat and making it fatter and fatter, that eventually, and feed it like the sweets and everything, eventually the cat will just shit out candy bars. So they kind of played it up on the one episode. Other characters kind of making her believe that, yeah, the cat, if you feed it enough like candy that or sweets or sugar, the cat will eventually shit out a candy bar for you. And I mean, it was just funny because the person she thought could do it on these episodes was some guy who was a exchange student for high school of all things. I'm not even kidding. I don't know if that was a real accent or not, but the character was supposed to be from Ireland. And he becomes part of the Glee Club. But Brittany thought, okay, well, if you're from Ireland, you must be a leprechaun because, Irish people, and he was wearing green in this particular episode. And she said, you have all green on, so you must be a leprechaun. So she tries to get him to give her 3 wishes. And the guy figures, well, I'll just play along with it because this girl's kind of hot looking. And, hey, if I play along with this, maybe I'll get down to her pants, because she thinks I'm a leprechaun. And the character is like literally so stupid, the character, that she said, well, my first wish, I want a complete box of just the marshmallows and my favorite cereal of, what do you call it? My favorite cereal of Lucky Charms. And the guy's like, okay, well, I'll just do it because, hey, this girl, maybe I'll get somewhere with her if I just play along with her thinking that I'm a leprechaun. And then the next one was something about, like, help me get Lord, what is it, Lord Tubberton, you need to make, because I've been feeding him all this sugar and all this kind of food that should be, I figured if I keep on giving to him, you have to help coach Lord Tubberton along, that he will finally be able to shit out candy bars. And I mean, it was fun. It was funny. The cat is adorable though, but the cat's like, must weigh, I think it weighs like, I'm not even kidding. It's a regular, not a regular size cat. It weighs like 25, 30 pounds. And for a cat, that's really huge. That's humongous. So anyway, I just had to mention, I don't even know where I was at to begin with. So I apologize about that. But I just had a story up that I wanted to read, and I kind of lost it. So I'm going to have to look for that one too. So give me a minute, because the stories I had queued up, I now lost them. So there was something about, like, they're in hiatus right now with Doctor Who. They're not doing any recording. So the guy that plays Doctor Who is, which I actually really like him. I was a little skeptic at first. I was very skeptical. Was Peter Capaldi, and since he's been off, he's grown a beard. He's got a nice head of hair too, by the way. But he grew a beard. And it's like, dude, you look like really good. He's like he is pushing 60, but he doesn't look that old. Not saying it is, because 10 years from now I'll be 60 almost. So, but yeah, he looks really good. And I can't wait, because I had it somewhere in my mix. I'm not going to dig that deep. But I was really happy, but if it's true. But, they're going to, I'm a little bit saddened that Peter Capaldi's going to leave once that producer leaves, the one I don't like, Stephen Moffat. But when a new producer comes in, they're going to leave it up to him to pick a new Doctor Who. And there was somebody that was speculating who's already, like, interested in the role of Doctor Who is a male. So that, hey, it's like, great. So, at least it will continue the direction it has for the past 50 years, where at least the person going to be picked as an actor, at least who's interested in it, is going to be a male actor. So that's really cool. That really made me happy. Anyway, I got a couple stories, and since some of them I actually accidentally shut down, I'm just going to reopen them, and hopefully I won't read them twice. If I do, I'll try to catch myself. There was one I found on the morning call, and it was about this Uber place. That was a place that whack job doctor woman whacked out and was trying to, make a scene, and then she was crying, and she got out of any type of serious, what do you call it? Serious jail time, or basically losing her license as a doctor. So anyway, there's a one on the morning call. It says, I nearly passed out, that it basically cost $640 to get an Uber ride. It's a private company to ride for a 30-mile trip to the airport. $640.94. So yeah, it is literally it's a luxury thing, and they will take you anywhere, but it's a private type setup is Uber, and that's Uber. So, and the one girl who tried to jump into the Uber thing was you have to especially call them and set up a time for them to pick you up, but somebody didn't realize how expensive Uber is. And it says this Uber surge price of 4.4 times the normal fare. Like, it is really expensive. And, people who get Uber, it's nice if you have the money, but, you just can't jump into a vehicle and say, okay, well, I'm taking this like it's a taxi. No, that's a private service. So that kind of like I just had to mention about that. What I was going to mention too, and again, I might have shut it down a few times, and I'm just going to read it now. Daily Mail was something. It's titled "It's Okay to Pee in Public Now" in San Francisco because they got their first open air urinals in the city park to stop people from relieving themselves in the bushes. Now that's kind of weird. Why don't you just put a fucking outhouse in? I'm sorry. I mean, I think that's just crazy that they're showing ones next to a bus terminal. I mean, a train terminal. Would it be cheaper to just put an outhouse in, or not an outhouse? Those porta potties, Johns. And I think personally, that'd be a lot more sanitary. Really, I mean, I truly think that. It says the open air public urinal has been open in Dolores Park, San Francisco, and is designed to stop people from urinating in the public while in the park. Although it is in an open screen, is open, and a screen protects front, offering some privacy. Well, you know what? There was times I've actually had to take a number 2. I had to take a shit, and I couldn't because they locked the fucking bathrooms. So the only way you really deal with this issue is you put a porta-john in there. And, basically, once they get filled, you just remove them. And I think that's a lot more sanitary than an open place. Because what if you have to do, not like take a piss, but you have to take a shit? And how's that going to help the ladies? What if they have to go? They got to pull their pants down and squat to use the bathroom? Come on. I mean, that is not the solution. And these things look like they were pretty costly. So that's the other thing that's kind of got me a little bit annoyed by reading it. I had some things I was going to try to open up on a side. I can't. These are really funny. I don't know where these come from. Actually, this particular one came from some link our friend I have from Germany. But they're like videos. And this one video, I'm not even kidding. It's a black cat. The cat's like literally fucking a chicken. I mean, it's literally humping. A black cat is humping a chicken. Or is it a rooster? It might be a rooster. I don't know. Maybe it's a gay cat then. I don't know. But the cat is literally its wiener or whatever, because it's got to be a male to do this. Its wiener is basically up the butt of this rooster, who is just basically taking it, or chicken. I'm not joking. The video is there. It's on my Facebook page. There's another one where this young girl is being really nasty to this horse, smacking it and kicking it, and the horse basically just picks her up and throws her, with its mouth at the what do you call it? I don't know when this is coming out, and it looks pretty bad, unfortunately. It would be the fourth segment was this movie called Cabin Fever. They made a remake, and it says Eli Roth, his name is on there because he did the original one. He only did the original one because he did other movies after that. Somebody else did the other films, which were horrible. There was like 3 other films, sequels to had nothing to do with the original one of Cabin Fever. And basically Cabin Fever, the whole gist of that movie, by the way, if you ever heard of flesh-eating disease, which is making a comeback thanks to the migrants coming into our country and not being inoculated, there has been issues in even the U.S., I think, with, I know in other countries at least, with this surge of flesh-eating disease. Basically turns your skin into like milk or pus, whatever, because the flesh-eating disease bacteria literally eats through any organ in your body, in your skin. So that's basically that movie in a nutshell of Eli Roth's original Cabin Fever, which his name is on this one now. Now, the original Cabin Fever, I really, really liked it. I thought it was really cool. I looked at this one. It looks like it's done pretty well, but it looks just like boring. It looks horrible. There's no other way to put it. It's just bad. So, I don't know. I just don't know what else to say. I got some other cool videos on my Facebook page, and just to mention, there's one with a dog sleeping with a teddy bear, and it's got a, what do you call that? not a blindfold. You know when you can't sleep, so you put something over your eyes so it helps you rest. The dog has like those over its eyes, and it's sleeping with its teddy bear. It's really cute too. An old one I had, I found again. It got resurfaced. There's this kid's smacking. A little kid is smacking real hard a cat, and the cat smacks him back. That's another one I had a while back, and I reposted it because somebody else posted it again, and I thought it was really funny again. Oh, here's another one. This actually was one that can relate to Glee as well, which is kind of weird. There's this, it's called Millennium Falcon's Video. It's this thing with, oh God, what is it called? The big, oh God, what was it called on Star Wars? What is he called? Oh God, Han Solo's assistant. I can't find it now. See, Quiet Time. Isn't that great? You got Quiet Time from Walter. Yeah, I can't remember. But no. Why can't I think of his name? I'll just put a big teddy bear in. Because I can't remember it at all. Oh, this is horrible. God. I put in Big Teddy Bear, and that did not help. I just put Han Solo and see if that would work. Oh, Chewbacca. Yeah, God, I'm such a dunce. Yeah, it's this video where it's, what is Chewbacca? What kind of creature is he? And it's like one of those, nighttime sex video kind of things, but it's a parody. It's an old one, too. I'm trying to get it to play again. And it's like one of these call 800 sex line, but it's a female version of a Chewbacca doing one of those sex things. Call this number now for phone sex with a female Chewbacca. And it is actually pretty funny. So I don't know who comes up with this shit, but it's hilarious. That's on there, too. Apparently they're doing I didn't know this. They're making another sequel to Amityville Horror, that movie from years ago, coming out this year, and it's called Amityville: The Awakening. It looks probably pretty bad too. But there's one of those kids from Disney that's in the movie. She's actually pretty good. She played in a horror movie years ago. Let's see if I can pop up some information. Yeah, because I can't remember her name. Oh, I remember now. Bella Thorne. She was on this kid show called, her and this other young kid when they were 12 years old on Disney, and they're 16 now. They got their own TV shows. But Bella Thorne, actually, she's done, she did another horror movie. She's a redheaded girl that, I can't remember that show she was on. Let me see if I can, oh shit, I'll lose all my stories though. Let's see if I can just put it in. She's actually a good actress, too. Shake It Up. Okay, some show called Shake It Up. It's on Disney. She did a horror movie years ago, and, I didn't know. It was like, wow. But that movie almost made me crap my pants. So, and she was only she was less than 12 years old. And the movie, she played some type of demon or something in some movie, and she scared me so bad for a little kid that I literally almost crapped my pants. I literally almost had a deuce in my pants from getting so scared. I'm not even kidding. So she's a good actress. She's really good. These kids, they grow up, they become wild, though. That's the only problem. But she does a good job with these horror movies, so I'll tell you that much. You know what? I found this after I started my show, when I was looking through stuff. And this is pretty bad. So this one I might have to even force myself to read. It says, the cousin of a 10-year-old girl who was raped, killed, got revenge on the murder. And they just showed this picture. That's what caught my attention. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl. I assume now it's a guy. Has tattooed on their head, Katie's Revenge. Literally, a permanent tattoo. It says a cousin of a 10-year-old murder victim decided he wanted to enact revenge on the younger girl's killer while serving time in prison. So he tattooed a message on the murderer's forehead, and it said Jarrett Harris, who at the time was 22 years old, serving a prison sentence for burglary, took a makeshift tattoo gun, snuck into the 39-year-old Anthony Stockman's cell, and tattooed the words "Katie's Revenge" on Stockman's forehead. So that's pretty sweet. This guy raped and killed a 10-year-old little girl, and the cousin, who's the cousin of this little girl who was pissed off about it, decided to sneak in this guy. He must have been obviously serving some prison time too for something else. Got revenge by tattooing on this guy's head, like again it says with a makeshift setup, Katie's Revenge. So that guy, you're not going to get that removed off his head too easily. I'm sure there's probably a way, but it's not going to be that easy. By the way, there's something somebody put up about Suspiria, the original trailer for that movie. When I was a little kid, that movie, before I even knew what it was about, Suspiria, that was the movie that gave me literally for all my life until I figured out what the movie was called, and I rented it. I mean, I was like 11 years old, 12 years old, and there was a commercial for this movie called Suspiria, and I was watching back in the 70s. I was watching this TV shows on Saturday afternoons called Dr. Shock, and this commercial came on for Suspiria, and it was like this girl, and it was like, when you're a little kid, the only thing you think of at certain times besides you want to play is your hormones kind of get acted up. So I'm like watching this commercial, and this girl, you only see the back of her head, or this woman, she's going, roses are red, violets are blue, and she's combing her hair. She's like, oh God, this is going to be a really hot commercial. I'm thinking, I'm a little kid. I don't know any better. And she turns around, though, and as she turns around, you expect to see, oh my God, it's going to be this hot-looking chick's face that you're going to see now. It's a skeleton. I'm like a little kid. I was so... it looks really cheesy because I'm looking at it right now. It's on a loop-de-loop. I was so scared from this commercial that I literally had nightmares for like years. Not just like a little bit, for years. And, they put this movie out, by the way, as being like, oh, this is like the best movie ever made. Got a rated R rating, it said. I was like, this movie is fucking stupid. But, when you're a little kid and you see, like, okay, this looks like a hot woman combing her hair. She turns around and it's a skeleton. It marked me for years. It really affected me. Oh, by the way, I don't know. This said an hour ago, but I put it up. But it was an hour ago, 2 hours ago, I put it up. Happy birthday to Patrick Bateman, the best of American Psycho iHorror. But wait a minute, because that's Christian Bale, though. Okay, but it does say happy birthday with an exclamation point. Christian Bale. Batman as well. I told a friend, or the guy I interviewed that one time, the one friend who we did that independent film called Agony locally, I said to him, I'm sorry, when I saw him as, Christian Bale playing Batman, I could never really take the man seriously because I keep on picturing him being the American Psycho guy, the guy flipping out like Kylo Ren did. And I can't get that out of my head at this point. But anyway, happy birthday to Christian Bale today. I can actually put it up today, too. Yes, I'm on time on my shows. Anyway, story a friend had sent to me earlier. My friend Todd, feds Ohio clergy student arrested for seeking sex with a baby. Again, I just don't understand these people. This was in San Diego. The guy was actually going to travel to Mexico to have sex with a little baby, a toddler, blah, blah, blah. A little kid. Baby, but yo, baby. Immigration and Customs Enforcement said in the statement that the 23-year-old Joel Wright was taken into custody as he was getting off the plane. He was gonna make an attempt to have sex with an infant, literally. Authorities said he had written emails to an undercover agent posing as a travel guide that he wanted to adopt or purchase a female child under the age of 3 from Mexico. It was like in Tijuana, Mexico, for the purpose of basically just having sex with her. Now, I mean, I just don't understand that. That is beyond gross. That is like really beyond gross. I had another sex story, though. One that was making me shake my head. Like, I can't believe this. It's like one of these things, and it truly is about, it's this woman who's the school teacher, and she's saying she can't help herself. It says, teacher gives shocking excuse for why she can't stop having sex with students. And I'm not even kidding, it's all American news. So that's like one of the political websites of mine. And it was just like today it was posted. And this is in New Jersey, by the way. It says a New Jersey high school teacher who is accessed of having sex. Basically, she has having sex with 6 of her students. Allegedly, has brain conditions that leave her susceptible to teenagers' aggressive behavior. So there you go. There's the victim part in there too. Nicole Dufault, 36, pleaded not guilty to aggravated sexual assault as well as child endangerment in April. This was in from NewJersey.com reported. According to her lawyer, Timothy Smith, she suffers from a frontal lobe syndrome that renders her impulses out of control. So I'm going to use that excuse next time. I see some... Now, say this right now. I'm being completely obnoxious, just so you know this. So when you try to get me in trouble for this, that is going to be documented as well, I hope. The next time I try to have sex with a hot 15-year-old, I'm going to say, well, I have, let me get this again, frontal lobe syndrome. So I can't help myself. I just got to throw myself on these young kids because I just can't help myself. It's a brain condition. It's out of my control, really. And you see how far that's going to actually go. I mean, that's ridiculous. In fact, I might even use her picture now as my iWalter thing for today on my show. The condition is a result of a brain surgery she had after her first pregnancy. Smith said on Tuesday, Default is a single mother of 2. Yeah, probably from these 15-year-olds. She basically taught language arts at a Columbia high school in Maplewood, New Jersey, when she was arrested on September 14 for allegedly having sex with 6 male students. The alleged victims of her assault range from 14 to 15. The sexual encounters reportedly occurred throughout 2013 and 14. Yeah, I mean, it says the encounters between Default and the students allegedly occurred on the high school property as well as in her car. But, there's my favorite word, too. A prosecuting attorney, Gina, believes that Default is still at fault for the alleged crimes. Thank you. But here's a quote, though. Here's a quote. I got to read this one. I can't help it. So you're going to have to suffer through me messing something up. All too often, victims of sexual abuse are demonized by their abusers. Okay, maybe I'm wrong then. Isman said, it takes a tremendous amount of courage for a victim, especially a juvenile victim, to come forward knowing the stigmata some in society place on victims of sexual abuse. We continue to prepare for a trial so our juvenile victims may find the justice they are asking. So I apologize. I kind of fucked that one up. I thought I was going to say something about, well, she was the victim. She was trying to make herself the victim. But for once, our justice system's actually appropriately. I just pulled her picture so I can use it for my Facebook thing later on. Yeah, because come on, that's just ridiculous. You know what you're gonna hear. For the guys, these young kids, man it up. You should be taking it. Hey, you got some hot chick hitting on you. You should take it in pride. Why are you making a big deal of it? What are you, a pussy? That's what exactly you're gonna hear. By the way, at least I would. I know that if I was that kid. these kids. You know what? I was actually, for once, I haven't listened to Stern. I haven't listened to him for a long time, and it's just because I got bored of him. I haven't listened to Rush Limbaugh all week, and I listened to the recap of Friday's show a little bit. I got through the first hour at least, and he was saying his ratings have actually boosted from all the shenanigans going on about, people, with this whole political thing. He's actually getting more listeners from this. So this is great for him. But he was actually mentioning, I was glad I at least said some name right, about Germany, that place I kept on saying on my earlier shows that I wasn't sure if I was saying it right because it looked too good to be true. Cologne and the migrants raping women on the streets and stuff. Yeah, it is called Cologne, by the way, so I was right. Like the cologne you wear. So there was one on the Daily Mail. I'm not going to read it, trust me. EU leaders insisted there is no link between the migrant crisis and on the New Year's Eve attacks, again in Cologne, and they vowed to bring about an end to the false accusations. That's bullshit. I'm not going to read it. But Rush was actually going off about Cologne today, and he was saying Germany is so pissed off because we're having the same problem, though, that the birth rate in Germany is like ours. It's really low. And this woman who is basically in charge, I guess equivalent to our president, or a president, I should say, because I don't want to say our president in the United States. I'm being sarcastic here, but, equivalent as being the president of the U.S. I don't know what they call that. I forget her name. It's not in the story. Rush was saying that she is so hated right now, they want her to resign. They want her to step down because he gave some, number, Rush was saying, that she wants to allow, I thought it was 80,000 migrants into the country a year to repopulate Germany with these people from these migrants, allow them come in, and they're the ones causing all this havoc and destruction. So let me see if I can find the president's name, whatever you call her. Oh wait, I'll just put Germany leader. Yeah, I just put in Germany leader. So, Angela Merkel. She is so hated in Germany right now. They're actually requesting for her, a large amount of people are asking for her to please step down because she's made such a mess out of Germany. I mean, the place is just it's horrible. And, you got these migrants just taking over the country of Germany. And, he was saying in so many words or less that, they're asking for her to step down so they can clean up this mess she has created by letting all these migrants from all these, terrorist countries come into into their country. And that's the same thing that's happening here. But, nothing's going to happen with, the idiot we have is called our president. So, I can shut that down, the teacher one, because I just read it. Oh, there's another one. This is kind of weird. I was going to ask my friend Matt about this. But it was on the Times Herald arrest. A bus driver accused of indecent contact with a special needs student in Montgomery County. Why I mentioned my one friend, though, was because years ago, one of the jobs he had, he actually worked taking special need kids back and forth from work. So I just didn't know he might know this guy. I doubt it because this is in Bucks County. It says courthouse at Bucks County School. Bus driver is behind bars, accused of having indecent contact with two special needs students he transported from their homes to Bucks in a school in Chester County. The guy's name is J.C. Oh God, I can't pronounce that one. Anyway, this man is 74 years old too, of 1700 block on 1700 block Mill Road in Hilltown Township, Bucks County. So yeah, he was doing inappropriate things to these special needs kids. That's really scary. The victims included a 14-year-old girl and a 22-year-old woman, according to the authorities. Both victims are special needs students. So that's even more scary. I mean, these poor women, the kid and that woman, I feel really bad, who are special needs students, came in contact with this guy while he drove them to school in the school van from their home to Bucks County. I mean, God, if you're taking care of, if it's a special needs woman, she's 22, she's a grown woman, but I don't know what kind of needs. Maybe she's got Down syndrome or she's got autism. That's got to be really devastating. I mean, they don't know what's going on. And, you got a guy who's sexually assaulting a 14-year-old and a 22-year-old special needs person. That's horrible. During the police interview, this went up today, by the way, according to criminal complaints. This Mickey, whatever, allegedly started rhetorically, or stated rhetorically, "Why did I do that? Why? Just a little thrill at my age. Who the hell knows?" I don't know. The guy's trying to act like, "Oh, I don't know why I did it." It's like, dude, you know why you did it. You're a pervert. No offense. Yeah, that was in the Times Herald. Yeah, once you get caught for this shit, then all of a sudden you become like, okay, I know right from wrong now because I got caught. Anyway, different story I had from the Daily Mail. A man who was turning into a tree. I've seen stories like this before, and it's really weird. It's some type of growth. They almost look like barnacles. Your skin grows out. I've seen cases like this before, but this one's really bad. The guy literally does look like he's these growths. They do look like wood from his skin surfaces. He's got it really bad. It just says anyway, the man who's turned into a tree, Bangladeshi suffers rare condition that causes tree-like roots to grow from his hands and his feet. He's only 25 years old. This poor man, though, a rare skin disorder known as, if you think I'm going to pronounce that word, I'm not, because just looking at the word, I can't even spell it out. I'd be here until next week trying to spell it out. Anyway, look on my webpage, look for this article about this man with this rare tree-like disease, because it does look like tree growth. It's kind of weird. Condition means that wart-like lesions resembling tree branches and bark grow from his hands and feet. But this word is something like epidermis formis or something. The medics have now come together to discuss treatment several years after he began suffering from this disorder. I don't know. This is just my stupidity. Couldn't they, before it got this out of control, and this poor man, couldn't they kind of shave it down or something? Because this poor man, it must be painful too. I don't know. Again, I just don't know any better. So forgive my ignorance on that fact. Wow, did I actually read through all my stories? You know what? I think I actually did. So. God, I should put up the picture of the slapping cat. That one would be really good too. In fact, yeah, maybe I will, because I need a good laugh. Not that anybody else would appreciate it, but I do, because I just took a picture of the cat. I should get out when the cat was slapping the kid. Yeah, I must have shut this down. There was a couple stories I had up, and then I knocked him down. It was on Daily Mail, but get this one. You're gonna love this one. I don't know where this is located because these are in the British newspaper of the Daily Mail. Parents sue public school for religious indoctrination after their daughter was forced to convert to Islam in the world history class. This is John and Melissa Wood claim their 16-year-old daughter was indoctrinated into Islam during the world history class in La Plata High School in Maryland. Lawsuit claims students had to memorize and recite the 5 pillars of Islam and were subjected to disparaging teachings about Christianity. So here we go again. It's our fucking country, and we're being dictated that we got to learn. That's another thing I'll have to mention. We have to learn to speak Hispanic. I'll mention why I'm saying that in a minute. And we got to learn to become Islams in our own country. Suit also claims that Mr. Wood was banned from the school after complaining the incidents allegedly occurred during 2014 and 15, the school year of 2014 and 2015. The school has not addressed a lawsuit or the world history curriculum. So the school is forcing these kids to become Muslims. I'm sure the teacher probably is too, a Muslim. The reason I mentioned about the Hispanic thing was because that's kind of, honestly, it's got to be true. But it's also very frightening to me that the last episode I watched last night of Glee, when I'm trying to get through them, marathon through them, was, and this is true, I'm sure these statistics are right. They were mentioning, like, okay, the main character who's their the Glee teacher, and also the character teaches Spanish. He teaches a class Spanish. I can't remember his name. Maybe I should look it up. Maybe I will. Oh, sorry. I just bumped my nose, my big nose, on the what do you call it? Alrighty. Yeah. God, it's got all, I got to put this up. It's got all the characters, too. This is really sweet. Will Schuester. He's like the he's the Spanish teacher in this TV show. Well, Will Schuester doesn't know Spanish that well, so the classes that he teaches are very kind of offensive, unintentionally, but they are very offensive. So yeah, it's funny though, but they're saying on the show last night, they were saying, the one I watched, that by the year 2030, that Spanish is going to be the main language in the U.S. to speak. You're going to have to learn Spanish. Like, that is going to be the first spoken language in the U.S. by 2030. And I'm like thinking to myself, you know what? This is probably true because I've heard something like this on this line before. And if that's the case, that's pretty sad. Like, the second language of the U.S., the second spoken language in the U.S. is going to be American, and Spanish is going to be the first spoken language in the U.S. by 2030. And you're going to have to know, as your first language, your first language, you're going to have to learn Spanish. So, and how it was so important. It was like, no, this is really scary. This is like 1984 to me. This is very scary. So anyway, I'm going to leave it go at that because I heard some background noise. And again, I hope you enjoyed my show. I tried to make it more entertaining today, and hopefully it kind of flowed a little bit better than it normally does. So anyway, I'm taking my reading glasses off right now. I have like every freaking problem under the sun. And I hope you enjoyed my show. I am signing off. It's like literally the afternoon. So thanks again for listening if you are. And if you're not, try to get other people to tune in. Just let them know that my show can be taken offensively. And even though I sound like I'm a sexist, racist asshole, I'm really not. This is just a show for entertainment and just for me to vent. So I'm just giving that. You can't go back on what you said. Yeah, I know that, but I'm just letting you know this is what my show consists of. The best thing you can do if you really get offended by what I say is you just turn it off. That's why I record my shows ahead of time. You can turn them off and you don't have to listen to them. But if you do listen to them and you do enjoy what I do, just let other people know and tell them to tune in. Because, my show is on anything I feel like talking about or anybody who is willing to come on and talk to me. So thanks again. Have a good afternoon for this weekend, and I'm signing off for now. This is Walter from iWalter. Saturday afternoon. Thanks again for listening if you are.